Hi, I'm Jo from Jo's Paradise of Colour. In this week's video, I have decided to share a beautiful, absolute luxury spin using a merino silk cashmere top. This one is from Ishell Bunny Yarn and Fibre. It is one of her special blends. So to start with, you have the base. You can have, if you want to make this type of yarn, you don't have to have this blend. You can use anything from a 19 micron merino up to a 23 micron of something, but you could also use a higher grade micron. But the higher you go, the more coarse the yarn will be, which will make it different type of yarns for different things. The 19 or 18 to 23 is soft. It is beautiful for close next to skin wears. Anything higher than that is good for rugs because it's more scratchy. It also is a lot harder to spin the higher the micron. But for this one, I've chosen to use a luxury blend. This is not like a fine fibre. It is, but it's still got the volume to be able to get the thicker sections. You can't achieve this by using, say, a silk or bamboo or anything like that, because it is too slippery. It is not a fluffy fibre. So number one, part one is prepping the fibre to be able to spin it. You do not want to strip this too thin. You will not get a thick enough puff to make the slub. So keep that in mind. Part two will be creating the single ply slub. This is your core. So I am going long, thin sections to slub. This is custom order and will be made into a baby's jacket jumper. So I've given her extra length with the thin sections. If you can make this by doing just like thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, like very thin, short, thin bits to thick bits, that will probably give you a yarn that you can make a hat, a beanie, or a scarf or something out of. For knitters, if you need length, you put longer, thin sections into it, and you have random fat bits for texture. With this as well, if you want, you can make some of the smaller smaller thick bits into beehives. But for this yarn, she's asked for just slub, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Third part will be creating the structure of the yarn. So this is the final part of your spinning that creates this stunning, beautiful textured yarn. So stay tuned. I will be sharing small snips of each of the parts to try keep this video pretty short. I'm going to pan you down. You want to start to strip your fibre. If your fibre is condensed feeling, you can fluff it up by pulling the sides, fluffing the center all the way from one end to the other, which I've already done. So you just strip from one end all the way to the other end, and you do that 4 times. You clean up the ends. Don't throw any of these away. Okay, you can keep them and use them in other yarns. Alright, my knees are so sore today, so I will try get as much done as I can. So you want to make sure you go the right way. I tie a knot on the leader because this type of fibre is so slippery I will lose it. You want to make sure it's not too tight. It's not pulling too tightly. I'm going to give my buyer a bit of a thin length from the start so she can knit with it. It also pulls too tightly. Alright, then you want to pull towards you, holding the top, and where you see it getting thin, you want to run your top hand down to that thin bit, and you've made a slub. You can have as long or as thin a thin section as you would like. It is up to you. This is to be a jacket, so it is to have only some texture randomly. I may have to turn that down on the tension because it is pulling very tightly. So you just take your time. If you're a beginner and you're learning your wheel, you take your time with it, and if it feels like it is pulling out of your hands, you adjust your tension until it stops pulling out of your hands to the point of you thinking you're going to lose it. If it is pulling too tight, you also will get over twists like this. This is a bit over twisted. So easiest way to fix that is by putting a slub in or drafting towards you without spinning. I'm going to go with the slub because that thin bit is quite long. You can pull it on. See how that's still very twisted, and I always have issues with over twist on this wheel. I have not had problem with over twist on any other wheel, just this one. So it still happens to the most advanced spinners. You just draft it towards you. And you take your time. If you wanted to make this into a single, then you would have your tension pretty loose. Just enough to make the twist and pull it onto your bobbin. See, that is still over twisting on me. You see that? So I put in a slub and I draft it towards me, and then I put it on. Hi, welcome back. This is part 2 to spinning the absolutely beautiful cashmere silk. This is what I have now, which is so pretty. This color is really hard to capture on my camera. It is actually a very pretty magenta and fluoro pink, but very pretty, and it's white. It's got white in it too. And so to complement the white, I am going to be plying it with a white mulberry silk thread. This is a count of 30 to 1 if you're looking for it at any of the thread shops. So you want to go anti-clockwise to ply. You always do that with plying unless you're going to make a yarn for crocheting. Crocheting is best to ply on the S twist, not the Z. Anti-clockwise is going on the Z, and S is going on, and clockwise is going on the S. So say you are a person that loves to crochet, you will either make a single ply yarn, or you will start spinning your single on the Z and finish it up on the S, instead of the other way around, which you normally do. So anything double ply and single is best for crochet. For weaving, the best yarn for a warp, which is your core of like your base of the garment, you need to have a strong yarn that's not going to break from the amount of tension that you're going to give that yarn when you bring down your reed to push the yarns together to make it a tighter fabric. You do put quite a lot of stress on your warp yarn, so you want to steer away from using a single ply and use a double ply. Oh no, I made a mistake. This fibre is so slippery. I'm actually spinning this too tight and too fast for a ply. So you just unravel that and see how that got really fine there. I've got to pay attention. Oh. And then I made a notch. Oh no. I'm going to put that over there. Rub this in between my fingers, my hands, and felt that together. Don't panic, you can fix things. And that's sort of getting there. It's just gonna look a bit funny, this one. Alright, now I'm gonna untangle this and make it look like it's meant to look like that. Manually twist it, and it looks perfect. And continue. Now this wheel does not make, it does make beautiful yarns. I just got to learn how to use it properly, because it is a new wheel and I'm so used to using something that is completely different. This one likes to pull, do a big pull, and then go loose and then pull again, and it's very hard to control. I am looking at getting a new flyer, but I can't find the one I want. They don't sell it anymore. Like, it's the one for art yarn with the it's got the bigger hook ring and stuff. I don't know. I can only find the new one, and I think it's going to give the same effect as this one that I've already got. But maybe I can find a second hand of the other one I'm after, with the metal circular thing in the front. So you just ply it like you would normal, but when you get to the bubbles, you pull your hand to the side, which I'll show you in a minute. There's a bubble, I bring my hand over to the side, like so, and I will feed it on like you would if you were going to make super coil. Instead of pushing it up and making a beehive, I'm keeping it open and airy as a double ply slub. So these type of yarns give a nice texture to your knitting and also to your weaving. I have crocheted necklaces from this type of yarn and also from the beehives, using a larger hook. So for knitting, these big bobbles will sit on the outside of your knitting as a textured centerpiece, kind of like a statement piece. This one is to be made into a jumper for a young toddler, a baby. So I think that the fluffy soft bits is just going to be something really beautiful for it to play with and touch. Yeah, this fibre is one of my favorites to dye and also to spin. It makes such glorious yarn. You can make this type of cut. So when you can either wet finish this, soak it, or you can also steam it. I will probably wet soak these ones, as they are going to be a lot more dense, like more more meters. It's not an open skein. It's gonna be pretty condensed. I think the wet finish gets through to all strands better if you have more meters to work with. But the steaming is absolutely amazing with solid art yarns, like because you only got a couple meters in your art yarn, you can get the steam in better to each strand. Get it covered. It's a better cover kind of for smaller skeins. But it also makes the big puffy sections of your art yarn just plump up really beautiful. So I have another one to make after this, and then I'm done with this order. And then I will be probably filming some of the excess yarns that I've got to make for the Christmas sacks. I also would like to make more of the thick and thin and beehive yarns in some of the new fibre that I bought from Kathy's Fibres recently. So those ones, the color variations and stuff in the fibre, I think would make some absolutely stunning beehive yarns, and 2 Ply Slub. So that's my plan. I am looking at doing some weaving soon after I've completed all the Christmas sacks. So I'm looking at probably November, getting into doing the weaving. I do need to spin up 200 grams of black merino and black mulberry silk for my next big project. I would like to try get some more of the wall hanging done. That is just a project on the side when I'm bored or I need a break. So there's no real needing to get that one finished. So one day I will get that one finished and I'll start a new project. And you just continue until you run out of yarn, and then I tie a knot at the end and I rub it between my hands to felt the ends, and then you're done. And this is what it looks like at the end of it. But like I said, I can't get the color correct. Today is very dark because it's raining, and I think that's also affecting the way this is turning out on the camera. I will try and brighten it up on my video program to get the correct color, but here it is showing up like a very pale coral color, and it is not coral, It is a beautiful, bright, lush magenta, baby pink, and fluoro pink and white. So it's such a pity that the colour never wants to show up with pinks, purples, or blues on my camera. So I think I'm going to have to invest in a better camera next year. Definitely a new tripod that I can put over the top of my work and sturdy so it doesn't keep falling over. And maybe a better light as well, I don't know. Lights are so hard to choose. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and stay tuned for the next. I'm not sure how many videos I'll get at the end of this year, but I'm hoping that I can still have some content for you. I do have a custom order for some dyeing to do. If you'd like me to share that one, let me know. It will be more earthy colors, so like tree deity kind of bark and leafy colors. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I've got to dye up a little wool dolly as well for it, so that one will be an experience and a half. I have to figure out how I'm going to dye her. I'm thinking spray, using a spray bottle and then putting her in the sun to sunbake. So that will be different. Trying to think of a very gentle method to dye her up, so her fluff she's still got fluff, doesn't condense and ruin. So that will be interesting. Now this one is called Pink Lily, and I do have photos of her on the community page. That is her true colors. I will at the end of this video put the actual photos of her with all 3 skeins. So please wait until the end to see the actual results, and the true colors of this yarn is absolutely spectacular. I also did share the dyeing of this yarn, the fibre for this yarn, which just look up the hand painted tops playlist and look at Pink Lily. So thank you for joining me on this journey. It's been a 2-day journey with 1 skein. I have 3 to make. My knees are not very good these days, so I can't sit and spin an entire order in one go like I used to. So bear with me if you do have custom orders with me. It is taking a little bit longer for me to get some things done, especially if they need to be steamed or washed, because it's been quite rainy here. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this one. Stay tuned to the end, and bye for now.